We're here just north of the Space City, the Woodlands, Texas, the site for a 7v7 tournament here in the Houston area. DR7 Houston getting set to take off in what expects to be one of our most exciting tournaments of the 2025 season. I'm Ben Spicer, joined by Mark Henry and Adam Sandoval. We're going to break down the tournament. But first, we want to talk a little bit about the season so far. We're 3 tournaments in. We kicked things off here in Houston back in January. It's a little bit warmer than it was back then. Not much, but a little bit. But, hey, we can't get too greedy here. We then had warmer weather in the Villages, Florida, and followed that up with a tournament in the DFW area 2 weekends ago. Last weekend we took off a tournament rescheduled due to the weather in New Orleans. We'll talk more about that coming up. But 3 tournaments in, guys. Mark, we'll start with you. Just how are you feeling about the 2025 DR7 season?
Well, I'm excited, man, moving forward. We got plenty of action that's going on. Guys are ready to play. This is the off-season, a very important off-season for some of those guys in the 26 and 27 class, and even 28 and 29. So it's a thing where it's trying to get reps, and we talk about exposure, which we'll get to that in a little bit. But, the Villages was fire. North Crowley was fire, and I'm looking forward to the Woodlands being the same.
Adam, you were here for our first Houston tournament. As we said, very cold. I know the Sunday tournament. Sunday, the Crown Day, it was like 13 degrees. It was colder here than it was back where I lived in Ohio, and I thought that was crazy. But there's going to be adverse weather conditions this weekend as well. But just kind of looking back to our first Houston tournament, I think we're nearly double the teams as that one. So just kind of your thoughts on that to kick off the season and kind of where we're at here in year 4 for DR7.
I mean, so far, the 7-on-7 season has just taken off. Every team now is in full stride. A lot of players are back from off-season from their football teams. So now they're on the field. Like Mark said, everyone's just trying to get reps in now, especially seeing the team count grow double since Waller is just impressive. And then now seeing where these teams are coming from for this tournament, I mean, everyone wants to come get the smoke in Texas.
Absolutely. I love it. Teams coming down from Oklahoma, from Louisiana, and also flying in from Florida. We're going to talk about a program from Florida coming up here on the show. We're going to kind of look back, though, to start things off. The interesting part about this tournament for me, guys, this weekend is we have 4 defending champions from our Waller tournament that are going to try and fend off their competitors here this weekend. Looking at those in the 15U ranks, the Battle Cats took down the Lab. Free World Elite 14U beat the Louisiana Mudbugs. Free World Elite also won the 10U championship, and then in 8U, HPA took it home. So we get the chance to see some defending champions here this weekend. Looking forward to that. And then as we kind of recap to how we got back to here, the Villages, that was our biggest tournament so far of the year. I know you guys weren't there, but it was a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to returning there next weekend, and obviously we'll be there for the crown. But over 120 teams at the Villages. That one was a lot of fun. And then most recently, 2 weekends ago, we were in Dallas-Fort Worth. That was, again, not great weather conditions, but teams overcame that, battled, and that was a great event, too. I think we saw maybe some of the premier teams in the nation in that tournament also. So with that being said, let's look towards this weekend just a little bit. We're going to tease it, and then we'll take a break and come back and fully break it down. But just overall thoughts with 100 teams here this weekend across 6 age divisions, Mark.
Well, I think you're going to get that smoke that you want to see. You mentioned teams traveling from out of state. You got the New Orleans Dolphins. You have the Slimy Boys coming in 15 and 18U. You got some teams coming from the DFW, Texas Epic, True Buzz The Show. And Texas Chaos is from the Dallas-Fort Worth area. So I think you'll get a great mix of teams, players, and, definitely the Crown Sunday is where everybody turns up.
Adam, not great weather conditions this weekend. What are you kind of expecting with that? And did you bring your raincoat? Hopefully an extra one for me.
I mean, I am fully prepared for the weather that's coming up. But one thing we got to mention, or I guess point out, is with this cold weather happening all over Texas, a lot of these teams might be adapted to it already. I mean, it's been a few weeks. A few weeks. No matter where you're playing in Texas, it's been really, really cold. So, again, these Texas teams might be adapted to it in a way. It might be an advantage. But, I'm sorry to, maybe Louisiana, even the Slimy Boys from Florida. Texas, we couldn't give you the good weather we're used to. But I mean, overall, the playing field's still the same, and we got to crown one champion this weekend. We got to find out who's going to punch his ticket to the crown.
Did you bring that extra raincoat? He wasn't going to say anything. You didn't? Nah, we're going to have to get with Jonathan Mumford, get us a DR7 raincoat or something here. But we mentioned that New Orleans tournament that got rescheduled last weekend. That will take place the first weekend of April, April 5th and 6th, the weekend before the crown. But we're going to break down this weekend's tournament in more detail, talk about some of the teams, programs, and players to look out for this weekend when we return right here on the DR Roundtable.
This weekend. We got to go show it and prove it every time we got a chance. You guys have an opportunity this morning to go prove that.
I'ma keep winning.
We're going to make plays, and we win on defense.
Goal is to get to the crown. So you guys earn your paid bid to the national championship in Florida. So we hope to see you guys that come and compete. Congratulations. All right, HBA going on offense, TTG on defense. So let's have a good one. You guys earn a paid bid to nationals today. So congratulations.
Champions on me, champions, say what?
100 teams here this weekend at DR7 Woodlands. And it's not just defending champions from Waller earlier this year in the 2025 season. We've also got defending crown champions from last season coming here to compete in the Houston area this weekend. Ben Spicer, Mark Henry, Adam Sandoval here on the DR Roundtable. We kind of broke down the season so far. It's time to dive into this weekend. We mentioned 100 teams, stacked competition from 8U all the way up to 18U. We're going to talk about some of the teams that we're looking forward to season. Adam, we'll start with you. You've got several organizations that you've spotlighted to check out this weekend.
Yep, so I got 3 coming into Houston this weekend. They're going to meet me in the H this week. First team is Texas Epic. One of the most historic 7-on-7 coaches, calling plays, Coach Don Smith. And we've already heard they're merging with the Woodlands 2028 this tournament.
What a collab.
So, I mean, good masterminds on both ends. Offensive Coach Rich and with Don, calling plays all day. So and the Woodlands also has just a lot of great additions that'll add on to their strategic gameplay all night. Next team would be NTX Eagles. They're coming down I-45 from Dallas as well. They're making that with a lot of recent tournaments. They have finished in the championships, a lot of runner-up finishes, and over this time they've been figuring out the pieces. I talked to Coach Vic. He believes that they finally put the pieces together. They tuned up everything, and they're merging that they're 15 to 18U as well. And I got to say, you got to look out for their younger guys on their team. They're the ones that might stand out to you the most. Right. So you don't want to underestimate the Eagles. Now, last team is a team locally here in Houston, Texas Extreme. They're from the Klein area, and them as well, playing in a lot of Houston tournaments in the area, have great finishes. Even last year, they finished well in the DR7 tournament, so I'm excited to see what they're able to do in this tournament and maybe get their first championship, I believe, of the year with us with DR7.
Mark, what about you? Who are you going to be looking out for this weekend?
I'm looking at 3 teams. Texas Chaos out of the DFW area is a team that I'm looking forward to see. They play very, very well at North Crowley. True Buzz, the show, of course, that's one of the historic franchises. You know, Adam mentioned a couple just in the country. The show is the show. And when they come out, they're going to put on the show. And then, hey, I got to give my boys from Florida some love. The Slimy boys, 15 and 18U, I can't wait to see when they come into the pit, into Texas, how they come out. You know, they play real well in the state of Florida, but when they're on the road now, you know, it's not the home cooking that they're used to. They got to come in. It's just a little colder down here in the state of Texas this week. But you know what? I expect Slimy to show up. I'm looking for those guys to be one of the Final Four teams.
All right, I love it. We're going to have a little hot take coming up here in this segment, too, and I'll be including the Slimy boys in that, so don't miss out on that. I've got several teams I want to mention here, guys, so bear with me. I'm sorry. There was just too many to leave some people out here, and I still probably will leave some teams out. But you can come and settle that on the turf, make us look dumb here. But I figured it'd be nice to give some teams some bulletin board material. I've got to start with HPA. You can't talk about high-profile athletes enough. All that they've accomplished. The number 15U team in the nation as ranked by Zorts. The 8U team won the championship here in Waller by 22 points. So shout out to HPA. I know they're going to put on a show. They have more teams than just that are signed up as well, I'm pretty sure. Free World Elite, 10U and 14U defending champions from Waller. As we said, a deeper tournament, so we'll see how they stack up with some added competition here this weekend. The Battle Cats, shout out to Coach Cortez. His 15U team is going to be taking on the Slimy Boys. That's one of the games we'll be streaming. We'll unleash that full streaming schedule here coming up. And just a couple more teams I want to get to. YCA. This is a new team in the 12U ranks that I don't know that we've seen at the DR7 circuit, but it stands for Young Confident Athletes, and they've got plenty to be confident about. They've won several local tournaments, also won a travel tournament, so I'm interested to see how they stack up here at DR7 the Woodlands. And last up, how about STE boys? I can't believe you guys left them out in the 18U ranks.
Shout out to Coach Deuce for sure.
Yeah.
It seems like on Crown Sunday, Mark and Adam, like they find a way to get it done, man.
Absolutely.
And looking at their history on DR7 ranks, I hope I have this correct, but they have a championship and 4 runner-ups in DR7 history over a span of like 3 or 4 years. So they always find a way to get it done. It doesn't matter where STE is seated. You can expect to see them making a deep tournament run. So that's the teams we're going to be looking out for this weekend. What about players? I know you guys have spotlighted several players. And, Mark, for this one, we'll start with you.
I'm looking for Texas Chaos tight end, 2027, Jeremy Cooper. He's one of those guys that's a mismatch whenever he lines up. He's got offers from SMU, Arkansas, Duke, Bama recently, and then the Juice. Coming out of Austin, Texas, one of the top tight ends in the 2026 class, Javion Martin, 4-star recruit, a guy that's a mismatch in the end zone, wherever you line up with him, 6'4", 250 pounds. And listen, he's also a hooper as well. So he gets it done on the court and off the court and on the field. He brings the juice from the Austin area.
All right, I like it. I'm going to go ahead and give you mine. We told you, we went ahead and spoiled it a little bit. Slimy Boys and Battle Cats, that'll be our 15U pool play streaming game, and that's going to be a fun matchup of 2 DR7 quarterbacks who have already taken home a championship this season. That's Case Barrett for Slimy Boys, Holt Goodwin for the Battle Cats 15U. So I'm looking forward to that one. We'll tell you what time we'll be streaming that coming up here, but first we've got to let Adam give his players to watch. Who are you going to be looking out for this weekend?
Yeah, first off, I'm going to say we'll go for the quarterback, Lorenzo Aguirre. He's playing with Dab this weekend from Dickinson High School, sophomore quarterback. In a previous tournament, he led his team, went 8-0 on the day, and won MVP. So he's going to be coming into this weekend's tournament. Excited to see what he's able to do on the field. Myself, and representing, the the southern part of Houston. It's a little hard to get recruited out of there, but he's making a name for himself already on the 7-on-7 circuit. And the last guy would be Connie Watts, an athlete from Iowa Colony High School. I mean, their high school as well has produced some really good athletes, especially on the defensive side. But Connie has had a few injuries coming in this offseason. He's playing with STE, so I didn't forget about you, Coach Deuce. But STE always has a lot of guys loaded as well, coming from their area, from Pearland, Dickinson area as well. So it's going to be great to see these guys on the field.
This will probably be our most watched part of the show. It's time for a little hot take action. I think we might have to do this every week. I'm going to go ahead and give mine. And I don't know how hot of a take it is. It might not be that hot, so you guys might have to step it up a little bit. But I'm going to go ahead and say that Slimy Boys, they will win a championship this weekend. They're bringing their 14, 15, and 18U teams. They're going to go home with some hardware this weekend. What's your hot take of the weekend?
Guys, you don't have to have stars to get exposure. Come out, ball out, you get the call. That's what the platform is all about. That's what we do. You'll have scouts on the field watching you. So listen, if you're a baller, come out and do it. Definitely, if someone taps you on the shoulder, you're balling.
theplatformdr.com. You can check out coverage from the weekend. Adam, what's your hot take? You got to close us out with something spicy here.
Yeah, my hot take would be the most famous team is not the scariest team you need to look out for in a weekend. 7-on-7 is all about perfecting your craft, sharpening your skills. When it comes down to it, some of these teams, you may have never heard of them, but they got guys who know how to critique and finesse the system. They're on point with everything. It comes down to fundamentals. Once they top that off, they're really unstoppable, so you want to watch out for those teams instead of these big names that you hear all over social media at times.
No predictions from either of you guys. I'm going to be the one that looks stupid here. You guys aren't putting yourself out there. Okay, maybe next week. Maybe next week you guys will get a prediction from our crew here. But we've got one more segment to go. We need to give you all our streaming schedule for the week, but we've got to build a little suspense first. So we will be back here on the DR Roundtable with the streaming schedule for the weekend for pool play on Saturday coming up here in just a moment when we return.
We got to go show it and prove it every time we got a chance. You guys have an opportunity this morning to go prove that.
I'ma keep winning.
We're going to make plays, and we win on defense.
We've kept you waiting long enough here. It's time to release our pool play streaming schedule. On Saturday, it'll be here on the DR Sports YouTube channel. Let's go ahead and check it out. Great matchup. 6 for the day. You see 8U all the way up to 18U. Going to be a lot of fun. We kick things off at 8:30 in the morning. Our last game will be at 5 p.m. Central Time. Some fun matchups. Mark, which one are you most looking forward to there on your screen?
Man, my eyebrows intrigued by the Top Jacks and the Hustle Inc. Hustle Inc.'s out of Oklahoma. You got Top Jacks coming out of the New Orleans area. Coach, what's my guy name?
Coach Ace.
Coach Ace, sorry, Ace. My guy Ace Bowles is going to have those guys ready to play. And you know Coach Thompson from Hustle Inc. is going to have those guys ready to play. Two different states, not from Texas, not from Florida. Two teams that usually have very, very good teams and both have great coaching staffs.
Adam, what about you?
I'm really excited for Battle Cats and Slimy Boys. I mean, Battle Cats is kind of, I guess, a sleeper on a lot of teams, or a lot of in the 7-on-7 world. A lot of teams don't really put much mind to them, but they got a lot of kids from College Station, and they're ready to represent College Station to the fullest, which I think brings them together really well. And then Slimy Boys, like we said, coming up from Florida. I know for one, those Jits did not come here for nothing, so they are ready. They are ready here to compete. I'm excited to see them.
I love it. I'll go one more down. Free World Elite 14U and Cat Takeover national team in 14U. Again, we saw Free World Elite take home the 14U trophy in Waller to kick off our season. Get the chance to match up with an extremely talented team, Coach Chaz Thompson and the bunch from Cat Takeover. That's going to be a lot of fun in the 14U ranks. But there you see our schedule on the screen. That's where we'll be all throughout this weekend. Upcoming schedule. Again, we're here in Houston this weekend. We'll be back in Florida next weekend as we really get set to rep things up. We've got 9 tournaments in a row, eight tournaments in a row coming up. And we'll close things out with the Crown. That'll be April 12th and 13th in the Villages, Florida. So that's where all the smoke's going to be, guys. I'm looking forward to that. It seems like the Crown has just gotten better year in and year out. And you see our social media pages. Definitely make sure you head over. Follow the platform DR. That's where Mark, Drew Johnson, Nick Gradney will have coverage highlighting athletes from all age groups throughout the weekend programs as well. And make sure you check out our social media pages also. Like and subscribe to the YouTube channel. Like this video, subscribe to the channel. Make sure you turn those notifications on so you're alerted when we go live. That's all we've got here. Any closing thoughts? Anything you guys want to say? Any shout-outs?
Listen, shout out to everybody that's going to be there tomorrow. Bundle up. Bring your rain boots. Get it done, man. Let's time the ball.
Adam's got his extra raincoat for me. I know he does. I have faith in him. All right, for Adam Sandoval, Mark Henry, I'm Ben Spicer. Thanks for tuning in to the DR Roundtable. We'll see you out on the fields tomorrow for another exciting DR7 tournament.